How's it? It's Lena Girl, and welcome to Ukulele Club of Hawaii. I'm so sorry we weren't able to meet in person for the month of August, but so happy to bring this to you online because I got an awesome guest instructor whose home is on the continent. So it's going to be super fun tonight. However, coming up on September 5th, this is the day after Labor Day, we will be in person and video to follow online with guest instructor Micah Ganneron. So make sure you join us next month as well. But for now, before I bring on our guest instructor, time for us to warm up with our favorite song. Now, this song has been our warm-up song since Ukulele Club began back in 2006. It began with Joe Souza, Kristen Souza, Brother Sam, my husband, and myself, just wanting to gather and play ukulele in the Kaneohe area. And it started with 6 people, and it has since grown to, we have almost 1,000 people that are a part of this fun little ukulele club. So this song is called Island Style, written and performed by John Cruz. Recently gained a lot of popularity with E.M. Tongi and Oliver Steele, our 2 American Idol brothers. But we're going to go ahead and play it. C, F, G7. I slide in a C7 every now and then. But let's go ahead and warm up, get your fingers going, have some fun, and make sure you sing along, okay? Here we go. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Here we go. Mama's in the kitchen cooking dinner real nice. Beef stew on the stove, lovely salmon in the ice. We eat and drink and we sing all day. Kali Kapila in the old Hawaiian way. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. We do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Here we go to Grandma's house. We go Grandma's house on the weekend clean yacht, 'cause if we no go, Grandma gotta work hard. You know my grandma, she like the poi real sour. I love my grandma every minute, every hour. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Oh, on the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. One more time. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Last time, ho-ho. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Keeping it simple. Nice and simple right there. Yeehaw. All right, so hopefully your fingers are warmed up and you are ready to learn from this master ukulele instructor who is based in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. He's been teaching private lessons for just over 12 years now, and he says that the most fulfilling part of his work is just helping to foster that love for music and the ukulele in his students. Now, you can follow him on Patreon and YouTube. He's got a very vibrant community of ukulele enthusiasts that follow him. And he's got a very successful curated pathways that helps to bring his private lesson feel to a much wider audience. I'm so excited to have this gentleman teaching us today. So with no further ado, please check him out. MattUkulele.com is his website. Again, Patreon, YouTube. But tonight, just for us on Ukulele Club of Hawaii, it's Matt Dahlberg.
Hello, my name is Matt Dahlberg, and I'm an ukulele teacher in Mukilteo, Washington, just north of Seattle. I teach online private lessons and have a YouTube channel and Patreon page where I teach a lot of solo, instrumental, chord melody style stuff. But I'm really excited for today's lesson here with you, the UCH, to work on something that's really designed to be played with other people in a more community-driven way. And so let's go ahead and dive in. This thing is called Scarlet Summer. It's a piece that I wrote for my Patreon page that features 9 different sections, breaking it down into a beginner, intermediate, and advanced strumming, fingerpicking, and melody style to create the 9. And that can sound a little bit overwhelming, especially if you've never played something like this before, but we're going to break it down into nice bite-sized pieces. So at the end of today, you'll be able to play something and play it along with someone else. And the hope is that you can use this piece so that the next time you all meet, you can all play this together, pick different sections, and make some awesome music. Let's go ahead and start with the first 3 beginner sections. Now, this is all on the tab that Lena included in the email and everything else. If you're a more advanced player, you can also look at some of the more advanced sections of this. But we're going to start with some of the beginner parts, and then we're going to talk about some things that you can do to practice them and make them a bit more advanced, too. Let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to bring my camera down so that you can see what I'm doing on my ukulele a little bit better. And let's start with the beginner strumming section. So to do this, we only need to learn 2 chords, and I think they're the 2 easiest chords you can play on the ukulele. The first chord is an F, an F add 9. So you might normally play your F like this. You've probably played this before. But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take this the middle finger off of the G string, leaving only the index finger here on the first fret of the E string. If you're playing on a high G ukulele, it sounds like this. On a low G, it's a little bit different. That's one of the things that I think can make this chord sound really nice. But generally speaking, I like to use this F add 9 in place of an F chord almost every time I play my ukulele. It's both easier and I think it sounds a little richer. The second chord we're going to play is one that everybody has played before. It's called an A minor 7. So A minor we normally play like this, right? With the middle finger here on the second fret of the G string. But A minor 7, we just take everything off and we play all open. So we have our F add 9, just the first fret here on the E string, and our A minor 7, all open. This is designed to be very beginner friendly, but it still sounds good if you're a more advanced player too. Now the strum pattern that we're going to play with this is a very simple one. It's going to just go down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. To break this down a little bit, what I'm doing here is I'm holding that F add 9 chord to start. I'm going to do my downstroke with my index finger across the strings. And then if you struggle with rhythm like I did when I was learning, a little important nugget here is to know that, hey, when you're strumming, your hand should keep moving. What goes down must come up, and what comes up must come down. So if you keep your hand moving, you can sense really good timing. And by doing this, you just simply strike the strings or miss the strings to create different variations in strum patterns. In this particular case, I'm doing a downstroke, then I'm missing the strings coming up, then I'm doing another downstroke, and then an upstroke. And I repeat this, so it goes down, miss, down, down, miss, down. And that's our first measure of this, and we're going to do 2 measures on the F add 9 chord. So in time, it should sound something like this. Go ahead and try playing along if you're able. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, down, miss, down. I'm doing it for 2 full bars just to get that sound. The next part's going to be our A minor 7, so we take that off and we do the exact same strum pattern. We're doing the 2 full bars, which means we're going down, miss, down, up 4 total times. Again, it's all in the tabs that you can see there, but let's go ahead and try playing this together, creating our first little loop of this. We're going to play the F add 9. We're going to play it for 2 full bars, then the A minor 7, play that for 2 full bars. Go ahead and try playing along with me. If you get lost, that's totally fine. Go ahead and just keep your hand sort of moving here and try to jump back in. We'll go through both parts twice all the way through. Should sound something like this with a count in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Switch. Back to the F. A minor. straightforward, right? We're going to talk about how you can add variations with different patterns as we go through. So if this is very simple for you, stay tuned. I promise we'll get a little bit more advanced to challenge you up some. But if this is already enough of a challenge for you, it's okay to just kind of sit and practice this as we go on to our second part, which is the beginner finger picking. What's nice about this is we're going to be using the same chords that we just used. Nothing's changed whatsoever with the fretting hand. Instead, we're going to introduce some finger picking technique here with our playing hand. Now I'm going to super zoom in my camera here. The reason I'm doing this is we're going to learn what's called an in to out pattern. I'm going to take my thumb, I'm going to place it here on my C string. I'm going to take my index finger, I'm going to place it here on my E string for our two interior strings, excuse me. And what I want to make sure is happening is that my fingers are like this, the thumb more in front with the index more behind. Be careful not to do this. It's not that this is wrong and you should never do it. It's that this is a little bit easier to get a really good consistent tone. And we're looking for consistency here. And this is the best way I've found to do it in teaching and playing myself. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold our F add 9 chord, so just the index finger there on the first fret. And we're going to pluck our C string with our thumb, then our E string with our index finger. Then our thumb is going to move up to the G string, pluck that. And then our index moves out to the A string, pluck that. So we go C with the thumb, E with the index, G with the thumb, and A with the index. And that's the whole pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do it twice on each chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I take this index finger off for my A minor 7. Do the exact same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I go back and forth between these. It's a very basic finger picking pattern over very basic chords, but it still sounds so nice. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see the full ukulele. What we're going to do here is I'm going to do this finger picking part in time. And if you're playing along, feel free to do the picking part, but if you're still working on that strumming part and you want to get comfortable with it, go ahead and try doing the strumming along with the finger picking. Again, these parts are all designed to be played over the top of each other in any order, so go ahead and play whichever part you want as I'm playing it here. But let's go ahead and count in. We're going to do 2 sets on the F add 9, 2 sets on the A minor 7. We'll repeat the whole thing. So it should sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and keep playing it if you're getting into the groove. I'm going to go to the strumming, but keep pipping. I'm going to go back to the picking now. I'll go to the strumming halfway through. Kind of neat, right? I'm going to bring the camera up for just a moment here. This is what's nice about it. The picking and the strumming, they work together, right? So one of my favorite parts with this is you can play it in your community. You guys can all work out different parts and play them together. More on that in a moment. But just working on the strumming and the finger picking, well, they work together. Let's introduce one more part though. Let's introduce a beginner melody. I love playing melody on the ukulele. I don't sing very much, both because I'm not great at it, which is no reason not to do it, right? But more importantly, because I just don't enjoy it that much. If I did enjoy it, I'd sing a lot more, but it's just not something I enjoy doing with the ukulele. I like personally playing the melody on the ukulele. I find it kind of a unique challenge that's really appealing to me. And so it might be to you as well. If you've worked on melody style playing, awesome. If you haven't, just try this out, see what you think. Let's go and learn this beginner melody. I'm going to bring the camera down to me. This is measure 9 on the tab if you're following along. We're going to start by using a different technique. We're going to take our thumb on our playing hand and we're going to pluck whatever string we need to be played. In this case, we're only going to be playing the A string, which is our first string here and closest to the ground. And we'll occasionally play our E string with this as well, which is going to be the one just above it. What I like to do is keep my thumb a little bit straight here and actually have most of the actual tone not coming from this first knuckle here, but rather the bass here. I find that using a little bit more of a fixed angle here and having the meaty part of the thumb be the one propelling the thumb over the string gives you a fatter, cleaner tone than if you're trying to do this. I also like to, when I play the E string, kind of rest on the A string. When I play the A string, obviously there's nothing to rest on, but I just sort of pluck the string, following through, feeling the weight of the finger as it falls through the string. Now to play this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my ring finger here on my fretting hand. I'm going to place it on the 3rd fret of the A string. I'm going to pluck that. Then I'm going to play open on the A, take that finger off. Then 3 on the A again, placing that ring finger back on. Then 5 on the A, just slide that ring finger up 2 frets to fret 5, play that. Move it back down 2 frets to fret 3. Then open on the A. And then 1 on the E using your index finger right here. So that first part, this is measures 9 and 10 of the tab, look and sound something like this. Now, if you haven't played this style before, it can be a little bit confusing just because it's different than strumming or finger picking, but it still has the same rhythmic feel. It's still just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Still fits within that mold that we just played. What's cool is as we go on the next part here with our A minor 7 chord, so that was the F add 9 we just played, or rather played over the F add 9. We're going to now play what we play over the A minor 7, which is exactly the same. Except the very last note, instead of playing 1 on the E string, we're going to play open on the E string. Otherwise, it's exactly identical. So to break that down, it's 3 on the A, open on the A, 3 on the A, 5 on the A, 3 on the A, open on the A, and with the A minor, open on the E. Now, if you're looking at the tab, this can make it a lot easier to play. If this is going over your head, totally fine. It's fine to be working just on the strumming or just the finger picking. All these parts are designed to work together. So if this is a little bit outside of what you're comfortable with, no worries at all. It's okay, you'll get there. So let's go ahead and try playing this melody together, and you can play along if you'd like. You can do the finger picking, the strumming, or the melody. All 3 parts will work together. And I'm going to play it all the way through twice, just like I did with the other parts. If you make a mistake, it's okay. Just try to listen and jump back in when you can. Let's go ahead and count us in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Keep playing whatever it is you're playing. I'm going to go to the finger picking now. Now I'm going to go to the strumming. They all fit together. How cool is that? Going to end it here. Kind of nice, right? In fact, there's a recording that you should have gotten in that email from Lena too with the tab, and the recording sounds like this when it has all these parts going on. So this is just my phone playing the recording of it. This is all 9 parts playing all at the same time, and the design here is for you to be able to play it along with this recording. And here are the 3 parts that we learned, all with it, just so that you can hear it. Here's the strumming. Finger picking, beginner melody. There's other more advanced ones as well, which are really fun to work on. The intermediate strumming, intermediate finger picking, intermediate melody, as well as advanced. And videos that were linked will teach you how to play all of these different parts if you're wanting more of a challenge or whatever else. Kind of neat, right? Now I'm going to bring the camera back up. This might have been a little bit outside of what you've worked on before, and that's okay. Again, just focus on what you're able to work on. And this might also be a little bit too easy for you. You might be above this sort of level of playing these parts. And you might jump ahead to like the intermediate level and it'd be a little bit too difficult, right? And so where I want to go with this is talking about how you can sort of effectively practice different pieces. As you're working on this, you're going to find maybe you really enjoy the strumming parts the most, or maybe you really enjoy the finger picking or the melody. Everybody's different. Everybody, has their own interests with it. You might be a strummer, you might be a finger picker, you might be a melody person. You might want to do it all. No matter what mold it is that you sort of fit in, it's your mold, and nobody can tell you that it's right or wrong. It's yours, and that's what makes it so special, unique, and awesome. So as you're practicing, find the thing that you enjoy the most and kind of work towards that, right? Find that mold that you enjoy and work on it. For some people, that might be just working on the 3 beginner parts like we did here. For other people, it might be, I really like strumming. I'm going to do the beginner, intermediate, and advanced strumming parts before I do the other sections, and that's totally fine. No matter how you sort of choose to work on these parts, a really important methodology for practice is being able to break things apart so that you can modularly practice them in ways that make it easier to learn. So what do I mean by this? Well, these chords that we just learned here, they're really simple, right? It's just that F add 9 and that A minor 7. It's literally one finger for both chords, right? Between the two chords, one finger is used. So with this in mind, when you jump ahead to, say, the more intermediate or more advanced strumming or picking parts, well, those aren't just more advanced because of the patterns, strum patterns and picking patterns that are used. They're also more advanced because of the rich chord shapes that are moving kind of up the neck that might be more difficult to play. When you're learning something like this, usually teachers will kind of show the advanced with the advanced, plug them together. That's what I do in these videos. But what you can do whenever you're watching this video, or really any video that you're watching, is take something familiar. In this case, like maybe we take the familiar chords we're working on, and then take something unfamiliar. In this case, maybe it's a new strum pattern, and we'll work on a little strum pattern here today that I just love to work on. And instead of doing the more complicated chords up the neck, where now I'm learning something new with this hand and I'm learning something new with this hand with strumming, I can focus just on the thing that I'm trying to do for the first time, like the strum pattern, while I'm doing something that I'm familiar with, like the chords. It's okay to break things up and be modular. And then once you get comfortable with the more advanced pattern, you can introduce the more advanced chords. And guess what? You don't have to do the more advanced pattern first. You could do the more advanced chords with the more simple pattern. That's fine as well. As long as you're sort of challenging yourself in a way that you can still feel productive, you're good to go. For some people, they can do the challenging chords and the challenging patterns at the same time, and that works for them, and fantastic. But if you're like me, and maybe this is hard to learn at first, it can be really, really beneficial for your learning process to kind of segment it and make it a little bit more modular. But let's go and talk about the intermediate strumming here. This is my favorite technique on the ukulele. You'll hear me say this all the time, but this one really is one of my favorites. It's called a raschiato. I like to call it a sweep strum too. Raschiato is a more like classical guitar term. And the reason this is my favorite technique on the ukulele is because I have not mastered it, and I've never really heard somebody master it. And what I mean by that is, as you learn this technique, every time you do it, it just gets better and better. I've been doing this technique for like 20 years now, and I still, to this day, in a lesson, I'll do it and be like, whoa, that was the best I've ever done it. So if you've worked on this technique before, awesome. I'm going to show you the way I like to do it. This is good for beginners through advanced players. It's a tricky technique. But I'm going to bring the camera down, and we're going to talk about it using our strumming hand here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my index, middle, and ring and pinky fingers, all 4 of these fingers, and I'm going to try to put them behind my thumb just like this. Now this alone is challenging for some people. It's like a yoga pose for your hand. But it's really beneficial to try to get all 4 of these fingernails sort of tucked behind the thumb just like this, and apply some tension with the fingertips here to the thumb here. See how I'm applying that tension? Once I do this, and this might take you a week, and that's okay. Everybody learns differently with this stuff. We're then going to practice jetting out 1 finger at a time, starting with our pinky and going sequentially down. So I'm going to do my pinky, then my ring, then my middle, then my index. Reload. Pinky, ring, middle, index. Pinky, ring, middle, index. And I'm just going to kind of sit here and practice doing this motion. trying to get it really seamless, where each finger sort of cascades into the next one, but I don't rush any particular fingers. I'm not doing something like this. See how that was all uneven? Just nice, crisp, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to try and do it in a way that's very articulate with the movement, but not really hard. I'm not trying to really smack the air with my fingers. I'm trying to be nice and soft. This takes a while to get comfortable with, and you can even practice, doing it like on the edge of your ukulele. That's a great way to practice this motion, because if you do it too hard, well, you'll hurt your fingernails. And I'm just trying to get the articulation of the fingers. And as you get comfortable with this, which again takes time, especially if you've never done this before, eventually you'll be able to take the thumb away and have those same motions with the fingers. And as you're getting comfortable to the point where you can have these fingers go out with minimal tension on the thumb, or even the thumb not there at all, you're ready to place it onto the strings of the ukulele. Now I'm just using all open here, that A minor 7, and I'm going to sit and I'm going to practice by having my pinky go over the strings, then my ring, middle, index. When I'm first practicing, it might be a little choppy like that. I'm going to zoom in super close so you can see. The trick is trying to get the fingers even over their motions on the string. At first, yours might sound like this, because all the fingers are too close together, or it might sound like this, because the fingers are too far apart. It takes a lot of practice to get it just right, keeping your fingers nice and loose over the strings, making sure that you're a good distance away, just getting comfortable with those fingers going across. Again, this is a very beginner-friendly technique that is very advanced, meaning it's good to start working on it now, but know that it's going to take quite a bit of time before it sounds really nice. And that's okay. That's what makes it such a nice technique to work on. Couple quick tips. One is be very light with your fingers. You want them to have give to them. You don't want to be so rigid that you're just sharply striking the strings. We want to be nice and soft with our fingers. The other thing that's really important is that you want to make sure that your hand only moves down once with this. A lot of times I have students that do this. See how the hand moved up and down with each finger? That's bad, because this should be one downstroke. So we want to get comfortable moving the hand down as the fingers go, just a single time. But as you get comfortable with this, you can add this to strum patterns, and the intermediate strumming sounds like this with these complicated chords. And if you're just learning the strum pattern, adding these complicated chords might be too much, in which case, hey, modular learning, let's use the basic chords that we were just working on, and let's just work on the strum pattern by itself. Even though the tab is telling us to move up, let's stay down, just so that we can practice this movement. And the pattern here is pretty cool. It goes down, and then you miss, and then you do the raschiato, that sweep, and then you're gonna come up, miss, up, down, up. So you've probably done what's called the island strum before, right? Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. This is the same thing, only now it's down, sweep up, down, sweep up, down, up, where the sweep is that raschiato. In the tab, you'll see it says R-A-S-G. That's what this is meaning. And so this is a great way to practice this. If this is too advanced for you, what if you just do the basic pattern that we were just doing a moment ago? And while you're doing that basic pattern, maybe I do the raschiato. Or maybe while I'm doing the raschiato, you do the finger picking. Or maybe you're wanting to play the melody. This is what makes this such a cool lesson. So in this case, we worked on the raschiato technique. You can apply that with the simple chords or learn the more advanced chords moving up and down the neck. Unfortunately, we don't have time to learn all 9 parts today, but all of those videos are available on YouTube, and you've got the tab, so you can dive into the more advanced stuff. And again, with this modular learning concept, you can mix and match. Take the chords from simpler things with the techniques of harder things, or maybe the harder chords with simpler techniques. Whatever works best for you as you're learning. And that's what's cool about this, is you might learn a lot about what it is that you enjoy as an ukulele player. For me, I love playing solo, and I love playing the chord melody arrangement style. I like playing the melody and harmony of songs all together at once. Because I don't sing, it's nice. I like being able to sing through my ukulele while also kind of juggling the harmony and chords. It's just what I enjoy doing. And so that's where a lot of my lessons are going to lie in that sort of style of playing more melodically on the ukulele. Maybe you discovered, hey, I really like finger picking. I didn't know that I like finger picking, which is awesome. Or maybe you realize that you like playing melody more than you might have thought of. And hey, maybe you realize, man, I really don't like strumming like I thought I did. Whatever realizations you're coming to are great, and no one else can come to them but you. So as you find what you enjoy playing more, explore that more. You don't have to be a great strummer, a great finger picker, and a great melody player if you don't want to be. No one's forcing you to do this. It's important for you to find self-fulfillment in your playing, and exploring what gives you that sense of fulfillment is the most important thing you can do on your ukulele journey. So if you really enjoy playing melody, find other lessons and things online that teach you things like melody. If you really enjoy strumming chords and singing with other people and playing that way, UCH is going to be a great resource. And then find other lessons online that encourage that style of playing. Once you know what you like, look for it. Find it all over. I've got a lot of lessons on my YouTube channel. Again, a lot of chord melody. There's some jamming lessons like what we're working here with Scarlet Summer. Different things like that. But also Ukulele Underground, which I know you've all heard of, is an incredible resource with a lot of different styles. Obviously, lots of jam stuff there with being able to sing and strum, but also really rich chord melody style too, because Aldrine can truly do it all. I also do some lessons on like Rock Class 101, where I teach some chord melody style playing. That's another great resource. Try to find resources and teachers that teach the style that you enjoy and that you connect with, and go for it, because, you know, that's what this is all about. It's finding more fulfillment in your journey as you're learning. And one of the things I just launched on my Patreon page is called Curated Pathways. I've only got a couple out right now, so it's very much in its early phases, but the design here is to bring that private lesson experience to more people, because that's what private lessons are. It's about exploring that person's journey. What do they enjoy, and tuning the content that we work on for that individual. So my hope is with these pathways to kind of give people, you know, something they can identify with and pursue their goals with. Right now there's just sort of a more beginner one and more intermediate. There's lots more coming on my Patreon page. So check that out if you want to explore some other styles and options, and maybe try to explore what styles you enjoy to see what other lessons you can kind of work from. Now, where this comes full circle is my favorite part. We talked about how we worked on this tune so that you can play it in your ukulele club. And that's what's amazing about it, right? Maybe you really like finger picking and you've got a friend that really likes strumming in the group. Well, why don't you make a goal that you each learn one of those sections so that you can play it together the next time you meet? Heck, maybe the whole club can play this all at the same time, where everybody learns a different section, or, you know, the section they want to learn, the section they want to play, so that it can be this giant jam with a bunch of people. That was the intent with me making this lesson. And what's so cool is when you individually find what works best for you, that is a strength for a group. A really great community is just a whole bunch of unique individuals that all can help each other learn and benefit from each other's experiences. All of your interests can help create a vibrant sound and a different musicality when you're playing together, because if you love strumming and I love fingerpicking and you love melody, well, how cool of a sound is that? And some people might love one thing more than another, and that's fine. That's what's awesome about this. Everyone's at different stages in their ukulele journey, but the thing that you all share here at the UCH is that you're all on an ukulele journey, and you all love the ukulele, and there's nothing cooler than that, being able to bring everybody together of all skill levels and things and share in that joy of this little instrument that I love. And I've been so fortunate to have been able to make a career over, thanks to people just like you who love playing the ukulele and learning the ukulele. It's too much fun, right? Now, if you have any questions with this lesson, I'm sure Lena will include contact information for you to be able to get a hold of me. I've got my Patreon page where I create a lesson every month that's actually voted on by the patron members. So we do suggestions, and then I make a list of the suggestions of patrons, of members, and then the members vote. So I never know what we're going to work on any given month. This month, we just did an arrangement of Scarborough Fair, of this sort of Renaissance style music, which is just, it came out really cool. I was really excited about it. In fact, if I play some of it, let me pull open a little bit of it here on my, I'm going to bring the camera down. It's this sort of style of like... Right, it's just this beautiful Renaissance sounding melody. I don't think I would have worked on this if it weren't a suggestion from a patron and then the patrons voted on it. But man, it's awesome. So if you're interested in more of this melodic style playing, please check out my stuff. That's what I love to do. And if you're interested in other things, find other teachers and other things that really share that interest that you have. And that's what makes this so magical. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope to come out for a real workshop in person with all of you sometime in the hopefully near future. We'll see. And otherwise, feel free to reach out with any questions you might have. Mahalo, thank you so much for watching this video and being here today. And I hope to see you all soon. Thank you so much. See ya.